Welcome, guys, to my Big Brother season 25 recap and review. I won't say episode recap and review because we're recapping weeks, guys. I know we've been gone for a long time. Listen, we were traveling, we had stuff going on, school started for kids. You
Mhm.
guys understand.
Yeah.
And then there was like 2 weeks where absolutely nothing happened on the show. So did we really like
Miss
miss
that much?
anything? No,
No, I don't think so.
no. And with me is just no Michelle. How are you, Janelle?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm excited to talk about all these weeks. How my excitement has fizzled. I don't love everything that's happening currently, but let's get into it.
Yeah. So where we last left off, we left off 3 weeks ago ish, where we discussed Cam's HOH. He had put what is it, Izzy and Felicia on the block.
Hmm.
And at the time, we had already saw the veto results, and but we hadn't discussed the actual veto episode. And yeah, so Jared won the veto, but he knew that it was potential that Suri would go up on the block. So he literally was like, I'm not using the veto. He contemplated it really hard because he wanted to take Izzy down, but he was worried that his mom would go home, and valid,
Right.
fair.
Very fair.
Uh, but because of the canoe issue, canoe incident after the veto, where they got a couple punishments, couple rewards. We know that basically Jared, Sari, Izzy's games were all blown up, and it was actually very horrifying to watch. And then once the nominations for veto locked, um, yeah, so Izzy had a conversation with Corey, blew up kind of their thing because she went after America.
Hmm.
And yeah, so Izzy got a vote flip on her and she was sent out. And I was very devastated. I still to this day, it's really hard to watch the feeds because to me, they're not as fun to watch. Um, but that's just me. I know some people don't like that type of excitement. They like fun feeds, which I don't know what that means, but and I actually met her this past week at a Bryson Wen event,
Hmm.
and I did tell her how much I missed her, and she's so awesome. She took my crazy approach to her. I was screaming. I was like,
You think you said it
but
to me?
yeah.
Yeah.
She's so cute. She was so sweet. I'm so glad that she, came out because I was like, I thought you weren't going to be here. And I was like, because I actually went to, right, the day before, which is like a kickoff party. I didn't make the Survivor actual event for a number of reasons, but I was, so excited to see her. And I was glad that I did come and I got to meet Izzy. It was actually really, really, really fun. Um, and then what else? It just she's like, I miss it too, and I was like, yeah, yeah, I should have thought of that. But it's just been a very sad turn of events to watch Izzy go. What did you think about Izzy's elimination?
Yeah, when I saw the tides turning, I was like, no, I really did not want her to go. While she's a little chaotic, I always just appreciated her spirit, her personality. You could just tell she was enjoying being in that game. I love her
Hmm.
fierce loyalty. Unselfishly, I wanted her to stick around, hopefully to help the people that I was rooting for go further.
Mhm.
Kind of, since she's gone, people that I'd like to see hang around have not. Maybe with the exception of one, I didn't mind see going out, but I haven't loved it. I liked Izzy. I completely agree about the feeds. There was an energy in that house and in the gameplay that is gone now, and Sari is kind of a little crippled with
Yeah.
the army that she no longer has behind her. You know what I mean? While she's still
Yeah.
doing okay, she's made up some groundwork, but it's just not the same. I enjoyed it much, much more with the people that I enjoyed more running the show.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's
It,
Big
it,
Brother.
it just like there was just so much more like strategy that made sense. That like yes, the vote flipped every 2 days, but there was just it was like it was so interesting to watch. So um and I'm not gonna say I'm a strategy girly. Like I don't have to have strategy. I could just watch the social piece. Like I like watching Sari just be social and
Mm.
see how she maneuvers it. But to watch her have that piece but also have the strategy pair that she did, it was really 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 fun.
Yeah,
um
it's just such a different energy now,
yeah, yeah. So that was week 6. Week 7, at this point, because Jared knew that Sari was Cam's main target
Yeah.
going into the week, he did win HOH. It was the wall. It was kind of a like anticlimactic yet exciting. It was only anticlimactic because the people that we were like expecting to do really well on the wall
Went out early.
dropped early,
Yeah.
like so early. And
Yeah.
so it was just like, wait, what happened? And then it was like it came down to Bowie Jane, Blue, and Jared,
Yep.
and Blue fell,
Well.
and it was like, oh no. And then Bowie Jane dropped, and it was like,
Right. And to me, it looked like she was looking over at Jared. And to
right,
me, it seemed as if she made the choice to drop. How much longer she could have hung on, I don't know. But in that
right,
moment, that was seeming how it was to me. So
right,
then we ended up with another Jared HOH, which what made me okay with that is Suri was safe and whatever else happened, I did not care. But I
right.
should have. I should have at the
Yeah,
time. I should have been worried. But uh hindsight's always 2020.
yeah. So for me, it was I was fine with it because I knew that the people that I liked, which was Sari and Mimi, pretty much my top two, would
We're
be
gonna be
safe.
safe.
In those instances. Cam would be targeted. And even though it probably wasn't the best for Jared's game, it was fine for me. But going into this week 7, we knew that this was going to be a double. And so we were like, oh, so if we get out Cameron and Jared, and then Sari gets to play by herself, like win-win. And then we started speculating because we realized there was no Veto episode the next week coming, week 8. And
Yeah.
so people are like, is this going to be a non-elimination? And it's like, oh my God.
Like of all weeks, I wish it were the previous freaking week. Why
Right,
couldn't this be the week that Izzy was resurrected? That's what I really, really was sad about. I don't like the two people that I would like to see go had a
hmm,
chance to resurrect their game, and that was super. I mean, it's Big Brother, twists happen, but as a viewer, I was like, hell, like I don't want those two back though. Like not these two. Not this
yeah,
is not the right two, Big Brother. I wish it would have waited like a week,
yeah,
something for Mimi to
something.
come back. Something
Yeah,
out of
yeah,
these two options. I wish I were more excited about what option that I wanted to happen. And
yeah,
unfortunately for Jared, in my opinion, I wanted him to go. just
Mhm.
because I felt like unintentionally, unintentionally, he was in the way of his mom's game, in my opinion.
Mhm.
The hits
Mhm.
her game took were largely in parts of some choices that he made. Like I said,
Right.
I know he didn't set out to handicap his mother or hurt her game. He would never set out to do that. But
Right.
nonetheless, his game instinct was directly against what was best for her, and she was the one who I was really wanting to see pull through the mess that had kind of bubbled up. So
Yeah. So for me that week, I actually wanted Jared to stay because I knew he wasn't targeting anybody that
I like,
I liked.
yeah.
And to me, Cameron and Jared are one and the same personality wise. I had no.
Mm. They, to me, they've both said things that I did not like, I did not appreciate, but I preferred Jared's like personality overall. Not, some offensive things that are said, just his personality. I don't know. Cam is so dry and there's nothing, there's zero charisma to me. Like when I listen to him speak, his conversations aren't fun. Like I could never relate to him on any level about anything, I don't believe. So at least there were some of that there for me for Jared. I was just worried about how much Jared would affect Sari because even in
Mhm.
that week, she was saying things to him. He was like, that I say he was saying things to Sari that I didn't agree with. Strategically, I didn't agree with, I didn't think was a good idea. So I was just like, oh. So it was like a wrestle in my brain. I would have enjoyed Jared's personality more, like the fun side of
Mhm.
his personality over
Mhm.
Cam's personality. So it was
Mhm.
like a wrestle, but I get what you mean 100%.
Yeah. So I will say just the double was so bad. But we're going to talk about it real quick. But yeah,
Okay.
so he, Jared targeted Cam. He did do this by putting up Blue America
And
and
Corey.
Corey, which
Mhm.
listen, I was fine with it. I was hoping it would be a shakeup for Corey, um, which it kind of was, but
Not
Jag wins
enough.
the, not enough. Jag wins the veto, and he basically is like, I'm taking Corey down. And so, in order to,
And that's what Jared wanted, I believe, for somebody to come down so he could
he
do it.
did want to backdoor Cam,
Right.
which, not knowing there's a double, fair. I feel
Right.
like that was absolutely fair. Not knowing, and I think he even said it. Like, if he had known it was going to be like a bye week the next week, he would have went follow through and targeted America because then he felt like he could have beaten her in the next week, which he probably could have. So, but
Yeah.
that's hindsight 2020, not
2020, right.
knowing that this was going to be a bye week, not knowing there was going to be a double, not knowing how it was going to be. So I
And
did.
also, can I add right there?
Mhm,
Also, with Blue, who else?
mhm,
Not coming to him and telling him
mhm,
all of this buzz that was around his game.
mhm,
So at first, she was upset with him, frustrated with him, and expressing that to other house guests. And those same house guests she knew were targeting him. Had he had a lot of the information that Blue had, would he have taken it seriously? I don't know. Because
right.
Sari warned him as well about Corey and some other things. And
True.
he just nipped, he did not take it seriously and he needed to. But
Right.
had Blue brought back some of that information that she had been holding close to her chest because she was in her feelings,
True.
rightfully so, he had kept a lot of things from her. I understood her why she was upset. But had she gone to him with some of that information, he might have backdoored, he might have kept Cam, because
Mhm,
all Cam's warnings to him were legit. He might have kept Cam and got rid of one of Corey in America. I actually
mhm,
wish it was Corey because Corey's the one who ended up winning in the double and taking the shots, which might
mhm.
have happened regardless, but we'll never know. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Right.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, no. So my thing with that too was he did, after putting Cam up on the block, say, you know what, I think we should flip it and keep Cam. Cam had started building a better relationship with him. The problem with Cam was not saying the right words. I will not target Suri.
Right. And he didn't know to say them, to be
And he
fair to
didn't
him,
know
you
to
know?
say it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is why um that, hold on one second, that was also a mistake on Cam's part, because he not realizing
Closeness.
the closeness of Jared and Sari. He was saying the wrong words. If he had said, I'm not going to target Sari, I'm going to work with you guys, blah blah blah, I think he would have targeted America. And we know that Mimi wanted to vote out America. We know
Mhm.
that he would have had a good amount of buy-in to vote out America that week.
Yeah, I think he
Um,
could he might have they might have had to put in some work. It wasn't impossible. They could have got
right, right,
Blue. They could have got Sari. They could have got
right.
who was the first person you said?
Mimi,
Mimi, Blue, Sari, Dragon, Felicia at that point. Like I feel like they
right,
could have gotten some momentum on that if they wanted to. They
right.
should split up a showman's anyway, but nobody's thinking that way right now for whatever dumb.
Not at all. Not. And so, a lot of this is hindsight 2020. I know we're recapping weeks, so we have a lot more information. They did not have a lot of this information, so I feel like on that his read was right to get Cam out, because his number one priority. I know a lot of people didn't see it because it was conflicting. He was playing an individual game with a pair,
Yeah.
because the pair was a secret pair, but that he was trying to play and make a name for himself. We know
Right.
that.
Right.
And so, yes, a lot of us did not like watching Jared's play. I
Hmm.
will say he had terrible reads,
Yeah.
um, terrible gameplay, and then his social behaviors were abhorrent.
Well, yeah, he said some things that he should not have said that were very, very offensive and have no
Right.
place. But I think that also, regardless of that one thing, if we think about the first couple of weeks, socially, he got along great. He was able to
Yeah.
integrate himself and get himself into alliances, and that's how he got all that information. And I can't even, like, to me, if I try to
Hmm.
pinpoint where things started to turn for him, I
Hmm.
think he got too cocky.
Yeah.
Thought he knew everything. He
Yeah.
thought he had the right reads. It seemed that oftentimes when a woman especially would bring something to him and say, "Hey, what about this?" And every time Sari did it, her read was right and his
Right.
was wrong
Mhm.
every time. And he
Yeah.
just, no, ma, it's cool, ma. And it's kind of like where I feel like in other scenarios she might have pushed back more. She was just kind
Right.
of letting him play his game and trust his own gut and his own judgment. She made her
Right.
suggestions, but yeah, that's what frustrated me. He was okay in the beginning with how he interacted socially and how he played. It's like the
Mhm.
deeper and deeper he got, the cockier he got, the more
Mhm.
untouchable he thought he was, the more
Mhm.
right he believed he was. Because really nothing had gone awry. And then when it finally did, his behind was out the door. You know what I mean? And that's like the first time things really came crashing down for him. He needed a wake up call sooner, or he needed, like, I wish Sari would have been aware of some of the fires
Things
that
that
he,
he was doing. Yeah.
yes,
I,
started sooner.
so like he was saying in some interviews that he told Suri he came there to play an individual game, meaning she wasn't his mom, she was Suri. And we saw that. We saw that he played the game like she was Suri slash mother, and rather than she was his mother slash Suri. And
Right, right.
so that when you see it, when you think about it that way, you understand why you got a lot of stuff. But I absolutely agree. I think his arrogance, his cockiness, especially when it came to Corey, is what really was his downfall.
Yeah.
Like in total. And so because he thought he had Corey wrapped around his finger, and then
Mhm.
he realized that he couldn't, keep that grasp on him, and instead of like building better bonds with other people, he just insisted on targeting Corey's showmance to Corey, thinking it was gonna fly, and it wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that week, Cam's voted out unanimously. Um, Double happens. Corey does win a knockout comp, which he this so on the side of arrogance. Like, this is also my problem with Corey. Corey's also very arrogant.
He is. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Um, so like he got mad at Mimi for choosing him
Bo.
to go against
Okay.
Blue, and then choosing Bowie first instead of Sari. But it's like, okay, she had no reason to target Sari.
Right. I'm not doing your dirty work for you, Corey. If you want it, you do it. That was very frustrating to me, too. I'm sorry. That was very frustrating to me, too. Because in that comp, it was very evident Sari was fighting everybody. They were
Right.
calling her back to back to back, surprising her at that. And for him to get mad at Mimi, Mimi's aware of what's happening, but there's no reason for Mimi to blow up her spot. Why is she going to call people that ain't going to put her up, Corey? Like, he's thinking about it from, he's mad Mimi didn't do what's best for Corey.
Mm-hmm.
And she did what's best for Mimi. Mimi has, while she knows that there are daggers out against Sari, I wish he had warned her. While she knows there are daggers out, she don't need the dagger. It's like she could keep her relationship with Sari. Like, how can you blame her, Corey? Let's be serious here. You would do the same exact thing.
Right. And this is kind of what people tried to say was the erosion of Corey's game. But again, with Mimi, again, he had said the week prior that he was, yes, having Mimi as a number, but he really was not in a real anything with her. It wasn't real. He just did not want her to target him during a random HOH, and he, just wanted to pretend to stay good. He does this with a lot of people. And
Yeah,
then when I
I
think he
don't.
did it with Heisem.
Yes. And I do believe that
Mhm.
Corey sincerely, we saw them have a conversation early on at the pool table, not pool table, chessboard. And we were
Mhm.
thinking, is this going to be like a Danielle and Jason type situation?
Yes.
I thought there was
I've said
potential.
it so many
You did.
times.
And that's the only reason I brought it up.
So
And that's what
many
you said.
times.
Right. So I think that there had been potential. And I think that as the game went on, his potential to work with her was just slimmer and slimmer and slimmer. And more of it was, like you said, in case she should win, she would feel okay about him. And I think Mimi's position, listening to her exit press, is
Mhm.
I didn't see all the willing and dealing and lying that you were doing. And you're not taking me in, you're not dragging me into that. I think she just tried to stay out of the drama. Like
Mhm.
I said, while we said to each other, girl, pretend, girl. Like,
Yes,
I
yes.
hope you
Like,
love
if
it.
you
And then,
walk in
yes.
public, are you telling me, Nicole, you don't know how to pretend yet? Like,
Right.
I mean, and if you, as a Black female,
Mm-hmm.
work in corporate America, you
She
got
can
to learn how to
pretend.
pretend.
Yes, she knows how to pretend because, like, Mimi's tweets, in the energy in her tweets, even a little bit in the diary room, even since
Mhm.
I've seen her outside of the house, like
Mhm.
what she puts out was not what I saw in the house. I
Yeah.
wish. I'm like, unleash this Mimi, unleash this
Mhm.
sassy, spicy Mimi.
Mhm.
That's what I wish. But I think that Taryn also said this, that she actively chose to dial it back,
She said it.
actively chose, right, not to get in the mess. I think she felt like if I can avoid, like, if I don't make a deal with Corey, he can't be around here running all of the things I said to all these people because that's exactly what he's going to do. I think she just tried to stay out of it so that
Mhm.
they couldn't attach her to anything.
Anything.
Because, like she said, everything got everywhere, and I didn't want anything that I was saying to get anywhere. Like, I understand her hesitation, but yes, we just needed her to fake the funk, because if she'd have faked the funk that week and had Corey in America, because she wasn't about to nominate them, that's the truth. If she faked the
She's
funk
not
that,
talking about she's not nominating
right,
them.
she wants Matt and Jag.
Talking about she's
But
not nominating them.
right. She was not after those two. She was not scared of them at all. She knew that Matt and Jag were calm threats and she wanted to get rid of them. But yeah, I believe that if she, with those two, if she had faked the funk and pretended to be in with something,
Mm-hmm.
even if she couldn't honor that later, which she didn't want to do, which I get, but sometimes in Big Brother, you got to, girl, you're gonna have to, especially when we get down to what, 9 people, 10 people?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the only thing I wish she had done differently right there. Like this week, fake the funk with whoever the hell you got to fake it with, so we could get.
True.
Then you can lie. Then next week, like Dill's off, yo, like or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is my thing. She points out, and we're getting so ahead of ourselves. She points
Sorry.
out, and we see this after this knockout comp. We see it also in 2 weeks later in this week on week 9. She points out that every time she had other conversations with other people, like when she had conversations with Blue, when she had conversations with other people that were not Corey in America, Corey would come and interrogate her about her conversations. What were y'all talking about? What are you going to do? Who are you putting up? But and she said she felt disrespected. And I understand that.
Yeah,
Because if you are actively really working with me, like we never saw that shit with Danielle and Jason. She never came to Jason and was like, what'd she say to you? What are you going to do? Blah, blah, blah. It was always like, what information are you giving me? What information are you giving me? I'm going to give you this information. I'm going to give you this information. We're going to do this. No one has to know.
and it's kind of like what they did to Joseph.
Yeah.
Anytime Taylor or
Yeah.
anytime Joseph would have a conversation with Taylor, around Taylor, here comes Amira and
Yeah.
Salome. What are y'all
Yeah.
talking about? What do you know, that he got interrogated for simply having a conversation. And Mimi's one of her favorite lines is, I'm grown. Nobody wants to have to answer to somebody that's going to be an ally. I would hope I can trust that. But I might be curious, like, oh, Tamika, but I think that also depends on the relationship you have with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
We're cool. I'm like, oh, Tamika, what did Izzy say? You know, that's going to be different coming from somebody that you have a working relationship with, as opposed to somebody you're on shaky ground and you're not sure how much you could trust them. And you hear everything they're doing everywhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
She's not going to want to give that up.
He wanted her to be his America when he already had an America, and an America was never going to work with Mimi.
Yeah.
And that is the crux of their problem, because he could never fully trust Mimi with an America as his number
scenario.
one.
Yeah.
So we see this after this knockout comp. They're consistently trying to knock out Sari. Mimi is not one of those people, because again, she has a relationship with them. Finally, she's supposed to pick 2 people. She from 2 people, she picks Corey instead of Blue to go against. And this was also when I was like, shit, Mimi, lie. Tell him that you picked him so that you could throw shit to him.
Yes. Remind me of this later, because I can maybe act like, I don't know how I would phrase that or how I would get into that, but yes,
there's 2 questions I want you to ask her on Monday, because like nobody's asked her about, does she know that the reason why Izzy and Felicia, Izzy and Sari and Jared were so close was because Izzy found out the secret. Nobody's asked that yet. Nobody's asked that.
Blue or Izzy, but go ahead.
No, they've asked about Blue. Nobody's asked about.
Yeah, they told her Blue knew.
Yes, and then I've watched, if you follow me, or if you don't, but you should, on my Twitter, I have linked all the articles that I can find, articles, YouTube videos, anything, podcast that I can find with exit interviews so far from Nicole for this week. Spoiler alert. But if you go to my Twitter, you'll see all the articles linked there. and in one of them she got told, the other she just basically discussed it, but yeah, she got told that Blue knew. She was not told about Izzy, as far as I've seen in any interview yet. So definitely that's one of the ones you should ask. And then yes, I would
Rewind
definitely.
a little bit because you glitched. So you
Mhm.
said in one of the interviews she got told. That's the last thing
Right.
I heard. And what happened in the next one?
That they discussed it, like, did you know that Blue, and she's like, yeah, I just found this out. And yeah, because she was, I think it was, they were asking her who was like the most like people who like tell too much,
Yeah.
and she was like, America. And she's like, um I think if I was going to tell somebody after working like that relationship, I would tell stuff to Blue. That's
Yeah.
what I was working towards. And they were like, did you know that she knew that Jared was, Cerie's
Ooh.
son? And she's like, no, really. And they're like, she's told almost everything, but
But
that's the one secret that she's kept. She's like, wow. So, she said that that was one of the things that she was working towards. She did say that she was working towards a pair with Blue
yeah,
outside of her brown sugar babes.
right. And I think that Blue really went to bat to try to save Mimi, which didn't
Hmm.
help me because they didn't want Blue to have anybody.
No, not at all.
Sad they did not connect earlier. I think they could have. While Blue has some game faults, right? I think she's improved,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
had some HOHs gone a little bit different, she might not be in as much trouble right now. But I'm sad that we didn't. I'm just sad that she's gone. And I
Well,
know we're like way
yeah.
ahead, but like I just wanted so much to happen or so much to get. I just wanted her to win because I feel like that spicy Mimi would have came out. She would have
Yeah.
slapped those boys. It would have been so epic.
So good, so good. All right,
Wow.
so back to week what
Corey,
seven,
HOH.
seven,
Yeah.
seven double. So yeah, so Corey does, win that knockout comp, beats Mimi, then beats Blue, but in Corey fashion, he can't let go of the fact that Mimi picked him to go against. And my whole thing is, but you won. Like,
Yes. What are you mad about? Sit down, Corey.
um and we're going to keep seeing this from him. And so he kept saying she fucked me over, and I was like, how, when you won? Like, I
Right.
don't.
You didn't lose. I could see if you lost, Corey. You won. You won.
But you won.
Mhm.
And so yeah, it was just the weirdest thing. And so then what happened then? Who won the veto in that case? I'm trying to remember back with that double.
Matt.
Uh,
Matt. Matt,
oh, Matt.
who
Yes,
asked Jared to
Matt.
play for him.
Yes. So Matt was
Jared
picked by
asked.
Jared to play.
Yes.
Um, and at this point, we haven't talked about it, but during the fight with Corey, Jared, I think we did talk about it the last time during spoilers. Jared had made some, in my opinion, I think I said at the time, rude,
Mm-hmm.
ableist comments and behaviors towards Matt,
Mm-hmm.
in him trying to lie and scheme during that
Mm-hmm.
conversation,
And
and
let
Matt
me
picked up
add,
on him.
right. And when you and I talked about this privately, but
Hmm.
it was not when Jared said to Matt, "Oh, you must have misunderstood me."
Hmm.
I didn't even think anything of that. I just
Hmm.
thought it was Jared doing what he had been doing a lot of that conversation, which was try to get out of the lies that he has been telling, right? He was
Right.
trying to back out of get himself out of a little bit of trouble. It was not until later when Matt expressed that hurt his feelings or he
Mhm.
didn't like it or Jared was using that against him that I was like, oh dang, but it just did not click in my brain that
Mhm.
could offend Matt. I do not know if that was Jared's intention or not, but
Mhm.
that's what was received by Matt and obviously many, many, many other people.
Yeah, one of those people being me. I knew it
Right.
off the back. Like I was like, "Oh, why?" I said that was gross. Why would he say that? Why would he do that? And that the first thing I thought about was that he was doing it to try to deflect to Matt's disability, and I was not happy. And
Yeah.
and this is like one of the points where I was like, Jared needs to go.
Yeah.
And so yes, Matt was very upset at that. And then
Right.
on top of it, again he knew that if he used the veto, Suri would go
He
up.
would go up. Yeah. And he
And
would.
Matt has been protecting Suri at this point, not knowing that Jared was her son.
Yeah.
He's been protecting her since they started to work together. To the point where he doesn't even want other people to have her. It's so funny. It's so kind of cute. I'm not the biggest Matt fan,
I
but
love it. I
um,
I think
yeah.
that also that did wonders for Cerie because they were in the comic room just talking because obviously he felt hurt, and I think that Matt also um, had a really hard time winning the veto like after Jared picked him and then not using it. I don't think any of that was easy for him to do. He felt like he was betraying people. But
Mhm.
when Sari and Matt were sitting in the comic book room just talking, Sari was upset, rightfully so. One of her closest allies had not been honest with her, but he was like, I'm sorry, but I knew for a fact that if I used that on Jared, you would have been on the block and likely would have gone home, and I could not
Mhm.
do it. And I feel like Sari at that point could not be angry because he was trying to look out for her and not understanding the depth of their relationship. I like Matt. I think he has Nicole is rooting, like said that she would like to see Matt win. That is of the people that are left, Sari, Matt. Sari, which would make me happiest in this season. Like Matt is
Mhm.
not without flaws, no, but neither am I. And
Yeah.
of all the people, I think he seems to be a genuine person, a nice person. So I am Team Matt for the win. I think he's in such a great spot. Who's Nicole was, but who else is talking about Matt and Jag that hard? Corey kind of
Right.
is, but I think that a lot of people, if Matt sits next to Jag, Jag's going home. If Matt
Yeah.
sits next to Cameron, Cameron's going home. If Matt sits next to Corey, probably Corey's going home. So I think
Mhm.
that Matt is just not on anybody's radar, and everybody likes him. Who doesn't like Matt? You know?
So this is my thing with Matt, and again, I think even Taryn said this, and so I'm going to say this: if I see behaviors that I don't appreciate, that I would not let in, my sons do, let
Mhm.
allow in my own life, and this is not. Oh, I have LGBTQ friends. I have you know whatever you want to say, like to try to cover the reason why you're doing this. I like this is not. I am like this in real life. I will call out behaviors, but that is me.
Right.
So if I see it on TV, I'm gonna call it out. Does that for me mean that you're a horrible person and that you cannot be rehabilitated, or come back around and learn from your mistakes? That's why you call it out, so people understand that they made an error,
Right.
and that they can, as Cerise said, clean it up a bit.
Right.
um for me, I don't necessarily like the way that Matt talks about women.
Mhm.
Matt was also quoting and like a known misogynist and
Right.
potential sexual abuser, and that is alarming.
Yeah.
And
Was
so, the, huh?
Cam I thought Cam was quoting whoever
No,
that
it was yeah,
was.
Andrew Tate. It was Matt. And so that was a concern for me.
Yeah, I understand that.
Every once in a while, he gets out of character and calls America a bitch,
I
and
haven't heard that lately, like, a lot of that
right.
beginning.
But like, you could call Jag a bitch too. You could call Corey a bitch. Don't just use the verbiage against a woman.
Yeah, you're right. I agree with you. I agree with
Yeah,
you.
yeah. So, but I agree with you. I am not perfect. I would
Right.
not be throwing stones. I am just seeing
Serving.
same behavior that I don't like, that I wouldn't want to have somebody do, and I'm gonna say it. And it's up to you. I'm not gonna sit there and be like tweeting you. You have to fix this.
Right.
Unless there's some, like, you continue being like blah 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 blah, I'm going to be like, no, that is not what you did. That is not how that works. And this is what we would need to see in order to feel better about you. And
Right.
I very rarely go beyond that. Like, even, last year with even like the Monty Taylor situation, um, I felt like he did his, not that his apology wasn't genuine, just his behaviors after a game let me know that he did not actually see what he had done wrong. And if you can't see what you did wrong, you can't really be apologizing for what you did wrong.
Yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
why I don't take public apologies all the time, because my whole thing is, I can sit there and say, I'm sorry. I'm like, I saw it rain today. They ain't had shit to do with me. I'm just saying sorry just to say sorry to you. But if I see change behavior, if I see that you are working on yourself, I'd be like, I really think that and change behavior means that you're working to better yourself, you're having better relationships, you're healthier, you just all around better, that people can really be like, I see the difference in that person. I'm always be like, cool, I'm good.
Yeah.
That's it.
Same, same here. And I think that that difference is hard to, at times it depends on how active a person is. We can only see what's put forth, or where them in spaces that they are. We're not in their everyday lives. We don't see these people. I know, I mean, I feel in my heart, if I were on Big Brother, I am not scared for people to see the worst of me, because I don't think that I'd do anything that I'd be crucified for in this manner. But you never know. No,
Mhm,
look, nobody's perfect. I could go in there and put my foot in my mouth and make a mistake. Hopefully, I would be given the opportunity to apologize and be better for it. That's all anybody can do. So,
mhm,
what the comments that Matt made, I just hope with the character that, or the person that I've seen in the house, I hope
mhm,
that he would be willing to listen, listen
mhm.
to understand, and listen to be better, and apologize to those he needs to apologize for. But of my gauge on problematic people, Matt is at the
Mhm.
very, very, very like low bottom. I'm saying
Right,
20 million trillion times worse. And not excusing anything. If you say
right,
something offensive, you said it. But for Matt, I have faith that hopefully the things that his transgressions he will make up for and apologize for and be better for. I'm hoping.
right.
Yeah.
And so he did win this veto. He did, we knew that if he won the veto, he was using it. He wasn't using it. He was keeping Jared on the block, and Jared was going home. So they had put up Jared in blue. The thing with Corey was, again, his arrogance. He asked Blue if she won the veto, would she use it on Jared, and she said yes. And
I
so
don't know why
instead,
she said that.
I don't know why she said yes. Listen, Blue is my winner pick, guys. And while I have liked a lot of the stuff she's done of late, if she don't win, I get it. Yeah, if she don't win, I get it. I get it. But at the time, I was like, so then just explain to her, you know what? I'm not even going to put you in this position. I'm just going to put you on the block. I don't want you to be the one to have to worry about sending him home or not losing the veto, but you're going to have to go up on the block, Blue. Instead, what he did was went behind her back to Jack and Matt and said, I don't know, Blue says she's going to use the video. And they said, well, then put her on the block. And then he didn't say anything. And I
Yeah.
understand it's a double and it goes quickly, but my whole thing is, you didn't have time to do it then, but Blue is still in the game and your ass has not apologized.
Right. And that's poor jury management in my mind. Like
Poor jury
jury management.
management. You should have cut her last week then. You should have made sure that her ass was up on the block and that she went home. Because if you're going to continue getting Blue out at this point, does nothing for you. You know why? Because her ass is sitting in jury, still saying the same bullshit to other people to make sure you don't win.
Yeah.
Go
Well,
keep
the only
continuously.
thing
Mm,
the only thing would be she ain't there to take him out, what she
right.
wants to do. Like, because if she wins, it's over for Corey. If she can help it, if she could get the votes against him, which I think she could. Like, it'd be
Yeah.
idiotic, in my opinion, to vote out America over Corey. Because
Yeah.
I'm interested in like malicious. Like, I'm interested to see what argument she could possibly cohesively put
Mhm.
together. At the end of, I don't know what she could possibly say.
I mean, she's made really good points to the fact that she had Matt. I mean, and I think she still has Matt like on her side that Corey is not a good player. Like he flips votes just to say he flipped votes, and that he's allowing everybody else to win the comps, and he's not really winning the comps. And so I think having somebody in jury consistently saying that for the next month is that you have not worked on that relationship. Yes. Is it offensive that she's targeting you? Sure,
Yeah.
probably.
But you need
But
to understand it, Corey. Get it? Like I saw today. Look at us. We're so today. I saw today he was complaining about
yeah,
Blue targeting him, complaining about him. You put her on the block next to her showmance. You lied to her about it,
yeah,
and then didn't even try to put a band-aid. Nothing. No, nothing. So at least that I'm aware of. I don't know that he's
he
done that.
has not. He
Yeah.
found out the next week because Blue spilled to Americans. America spilled that Blue was targeting him, or at least not even necessarily targeting him at that point. At that
Hmm.
point, she was just saying she wanted to put his ass on the block. But
Right.
now she is definitely targeting him.
Right.
But it's offends him that he could even go on the block on her HOH. Why? You put her on the block and she was supposed to eat it. You cannot sit there and tell people, well, you have to eat what I do to you. He was consistently doing this to Mimi too. You have to do like take what I'm doing to you, and I get nothing out of it. It's unfair. And so that to me is Corey's arrogance in this. And it kind of comes back to bite him in the butt, because after this double, right, we find that double Jared is not like gone unanimously, except for his mom voting for him,
Mhm.
basically, which is his mom was always going to vote for him.
Right.
So
Exactly.
basically unanimously for the rest of the house, because Blue wasn't out there. And he, then he goes out. Julie's like, guess what, guys, you guys are coming back in as zombies, to him and
Mhm.
Cam. And
Like
so we don't really have to talk about week 8. We're probably gonna talk about week 8, like through week 9, because nothing happened in week 8. They literally stopped the game. Remember when I said at the top of the hour that there was no veto episode? There was no veto episode because literally there was no HOH, there was no veto, there was no um how do you say competitive gameplay for
right.
the rest of the house.
Right.
And it caused, and I think Taylor Hale had said this and I agreed with it because I could see it. If you had a strong social game, you would actually eat up this week. If you did
Three.
not, Sari and Matt.
This week up. She used this entire week
Yeah.
to rebuild all of her relationships and friendships. All the
Mhm.
people
And Jared was still in the house, guys.
still in the
Understand?
house. Yep. All of the damage that had been done through Cam's HOH into Jared's HOH, Sari had really taken it by taken the game by the horns and got out and did what Sari does best, which
Yeah,
was talk to people. Just
yeah,
by hanging out, having conversations, slowly and surely as we moved into this hell week of week 8. Wait, 8, right? It's 8 or 9. Is it 8 or 9? 8.
yes. 8.
Week
Week 8.
8
This is the
of
week 8.
absolutely no nothing, because who stayed in the house did not depend on any social game whatsoever. It depended on, unfortunately and annoyingly, it depended
Mm-hmm.
on a random stupid comp. But
Yeah.
anyway, Sari, the queen of the social game, used this week to really, really, really rehabilitate her game. And
Mm-hmm.
while she's not in a power position currently, she's
Anymore.
well
Not even
anymore.
currently. Anymore.
She really was able to get a lot of players on her back. And even currently, people wanna or floating her name around, and people try to shut it down. Still, after everything that she's been through, I was so impressed with her this week.
Yeah.
While we have a lot of casuals who are huge Cam fans because Cam wins and wins and wins, and that's the only thing that's saving his behind, and not even really because he's already been evicted. But while everybody's licking Cam's booty cheeks, I'm like, that's not impressive. Go win a bunch of comps. Okay, fine. This is not the challenge. I'm impressed by Sari, who controlled this whole game for damn near 40 days without winning a comp, and
Right.
then went into this week in the deficit with almost everybody ready to
She had
throw her
lost
to the
her
side.
strategic partner,
Yes.
Izzy. Like,
Yep.
and it devastated. We didn't even talk about how it devastated her to lose Izzy.
Right.
Devastated her to lose Izzy. So much so that people were like, she was gonna cut Izzy. She wasn't taking her to the end. And then when everybody saw how devastated, they were like, oh no, she really loved Izzy. I said she was never going to, like, it did not ever behoove her. And at that point, like, the way they played the game, it just didn't it didn't even make sense because she loved her so much. And
Right.
so she lost that, and then she lost Jared,
Jared.
who like, yes, he wasn't necessarily her strategic partner. He's probably more of her competitive partner, meaning he was aligned with her in a way to cover her at all sides, like her knight, her army man. But she kind of
Mhm.
replaced him with Matt weeks before, and so it was like she had on both sides to do
Mhm.
that for, so that even when other people were coming after her, we saw Felicia complaining, and Mimi wasn't necessarily complaining. Mimi wasn't happy with her, but she
Right.
wasn't, going after her like Felicia
Vocally.
was. Yeah.
Right. Mimi's
Corey
smart.
was
That's why.
complaining. Yeah, Corey was complaining about her. Jag was complaining about her. Fucking Bully Jane was complaining about her. Cam was complaining about her. But
Yeah.
because she was covered, in those, she quieted down and used that to her advantage to use what little covering she had to build herself back out. It was fascinating to watch. If you did not watch week 8 on feeds, I would only go and watch all of
So
Cerie's conversations.
yeah.
Watch her work, watch her, especially if you're going to go play Big Brother. I would watch how she navigated all these conversations in a week where everybody knew she had nothing. Gary could still come back into the house, and they
Mm.
still, like, even America was like, oh, America was complaining about her. Even America was like, well, I just had a conversation with Serene. Oh my God, she makes you feel so.
Yeah, Corey's like, I had a conversation with Sari. I caved a little bit. And America's like, no. So did I. So did I. She was like, we had a conversation in the kitchen, and she just got that sweet little, she just has a way of
Yeah,
people bringing people back in.
yeah,
So I'm just hoping our girl can make a little
mhm.
bit more rounds. But where were we? Yeah, that's the week
Yeah.
before.
So that week 8 was really a social game, and if you're not a social game lover, like, I'm a social game lover. I like watching. This is why I watch Love Island, love shows, shows like where your social game is what moves you, but because watching people navigate relationships, watching people navigate love and romantic relationships, first of all, it teaches me a lot of things.
Mhm.
And second of all, it's fascinating to watch people, especially when people fuck up and you're like, hello, McFly. Like, why would you even do that? Because it's not in
Oh
your realm
God,
of
not the
thinking.
hello McFly. I am not talking about
Like,
that forever.
it's not even in your realm of thinking, but you're watching these people, like, how do you call it? Like, it's like a Mack truck just like moving to disaster. And you just don't understand how that's even possible. And I see it a lot in Big Brother, because it's like when the canoe happened, or the
Mhm.
kayak happened, and we were just like, oh my God, this is a disaster waiting to happen, and then it happened.
Yeah,
But that's the social aspect of it is always going to fascinate me, and so
right.
I like watching that stuff, which is why I like watching live feeds. That is also why I don't necessarily care for a lot of these episodes, because we do not see the social pieces, and I think when you don't see the social pieces in the episode, you see that the episode is at a deficit. I don't want to watch an episode full of comps.
15 minutes of comps. Right. I agree. And I honestly, I mean, I argue this in my groups, and they do not like me of recently because I'm telling them how much Cameron sucks at Big Brother.
He
Yes,
does.
he can win a comp, but unless the man wields power, people are not hanging out or talking with Cam. And even when Cam is in power, he can't make happen what he wanted to happen. Izzy did not go out because of Cam wanted her out, but her ultimately going had nothing to do with Cam. Nothing. This past week, when he was, well, we'll get there, but what ended up happening had nothing to do with Cam. The other people made the choice. What Cam wanted to happen didn't happen. So even when he's in power, he can't influence people to do what he wants them to do. When we've watched great social players, Taylor, get in an alliance and get this alliance to send home people that benefited her game most. It might have
Yeah.
benefited some others, but it benefited her most. The people that mistreated her went out of that house. We saw Sari go to work and control the game without winning not a damn near comp. So I don't care about comps. I enjoy the social game. And if you don't enjoy the social element of Big Brother, I don't know why you're watching. Okay, sorry, end rant. I'm just on with these comp people obsessed with thinking that you're good at Big Brother because you can win comps. No, Cam sucks at comps. Cam sucks at Big Brother. Period. Point blank.
Yeah, like, and then even they make the comps so that, like, even the wall this year was so disappointing because you could tell that certain sizes and body types were like at such a disadvantage that it was just like, oh, this is not even fun to watch. And so it's like when you, yeah, when you have comps that are just like, you know, like it just doesn't,
It's
it's not fun.
it's just apparent that the way they cast, the way the comps are, and how it's structured, for whatever reason, the men are running away with it. Taryn talks at length about how over the past 5, 6 seasons,
Mhm,
how the men have won like twice over compared to the women. So
mhm,
something's wrong and they need to fix it. If you have people, especially if you have a season, which is rare with a
mhm.
Sari or a Felicia, they are never going to beat Matt and Jag, even Corey, maybe even America, in a comp that involves physical speed. They're never
Right.
going to be as fast as them. They're never going to be as fast as
Right,
them.
right.
So
Even the veto comp that Matt won that week with
running back and
was,
forth.
it was running back and forth. He was swim. It was very similar to the mermaid comp, mermaid fest that Michael won, where again that light long body, he was able to like just maneuver through the balls and pearls and all that stuff to get back and forth. And even in this, you see Matt's swimming ability just like come into play, and his long lean body just like get him through those balls and come back. But then he had to come out of it and then run back and forth. Like it makes no sense. And so when
Like
you do
Sari
that,
or Felicia, and I think most of they're just naturally not going to be as fast. I don't
mhm,
know. I don't know what they need to do exactly, but I wish they would do something. And even if the comps were multi like a quiz
steps,
part, yes, a quiz part and a
mhm,
physical part, or if there is a physical part, also at the end of that physical part there's a puzzle to where maybe somebody could catch up a little bit and then this person struggle at the puzzle and they can come back
mhm.
and win it, like an equalizer, like
Mhm.
puzzles to
Kind of
me are
like the
great
challenge, but
because
see that's like the challenge, because the challenge, that's what happens. They might have to go
survivor too.
run and get the puzzle, and then they have to put it together, and then it's like you see those people catching up that were like couldn't
That are
swim,
good at the
very
puzzles.
slow, very,
Yeah.
not as physically lean because they had to run back and forth, but then they are able to catch up and do that. And so
Yeah.
even Taryn pointed out, Sari has won more comps in
On
Survivor.
Survivor than she did on Big Brother. Yes, and Big Survivor does that too. A lot of times after some big physical thing, it comes down to a puzzle. And I saw
Right.
one of my favorite winners. You know who she, Michelle Fitzgerald. She won season. She dead last in a huge obstacle course, dead last. Came up there and whipped that. She went and finished it in like that. Other people were still in the first level. She was way behind, got up to the top and killed that puzzle. Like
Right.
I wish it was like a two-step something or other to
Yeah.
give people to even it out, to be an equalizer, something.
I don't know, because I feel like I've watched a few seasons, two seasons in total. One season was 24, which I watched that plus the live feeds. And season 23, which I didn't get to watch the live feeds, but I feel like though like the 23 seasons comps were a little more equitable.
A
There was a
lot of
lot
the women
more
won.
kids.
Like we had Sarah Beth, Tiffany,
Yeah,
Hannah,
yeah,
Aza.
yeah.
Is that everybody? Tiffany, Aza, Sarah Beth.
I mean, Claire won the secret HOH.
Yes, there we go. Like women won more. Alyssa won veto. Who else won vetoes? Brittany
Um,
won a veto. She never won an HOH, but she won veto. Remember that helmet thing she got?
yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Brittany won
women
on
won a lot more in 23. I don't know if it was the style of comps or the cast,
it.
but
Right.
yeah.
But I don't feel like the this last two, like this cast is not physically. I mean, yes, you do have an older cast, but even like one of the person who was winning all the comps in the beginning was the oldest guy, Tyson. And then
Alyssa won one and almost won two. She was
right,
oh,
yeah. And then season 24, yes, you only had two women
win
win and win HOH, but you had Brittany winning
veto.
a lot of the vetoes. I mean, and yes, did she get a lot of the vetoes on
She
her
got
own?
one with Michael, and I think she got one with Michael, at least one with Michael, and one on her own, because they saved each other from like that one comp where Taylor and Nicole were on like
Yeah,
that whole
so
blow up
that one,
cabin.
but she did a lot of the physical work because she had to like raise, like she's there running. Remember, she was looking for her
Yeah,
husband, running to get him up, and so he could do the puzzle part. And then they gave her a asterisk veto for OTEP, which she deserved. And I keep saying that, I was not the biggest Britney fan, but
love
she
this.
she did deserve that OTEP veto, and that's because she set Michael up to the point where she cut up herself and was bleeding so that
Yeah,
he could find the pieces that needed for OTEV. And then she did win Snooze Fest on her own, and was very close in a lot of the other comps. So I feel like the prior two seasons were a lot more equitable
but
potential.
so we had Taylor two HOHs, Jasmine an HOH
Hmm.
was given to her, but
Hmm.
nonetheless she won it.
Hmm.
Brittany at least two vetoes, but I don't think they won any more out of the whole season. Four is not a lot.
But think about it this way: you had Michael, who does not have like the typical physical body,
That you would get
run
if
around.
you could at this,
Yes,
yeah.
and same thing with Turner. Like the
Yeah, he
same
won,
veto
but
that Alyssa won, Turner won.
yeah. Yep. Well, I'm not
So
surprised he won that as artsy as he is.
right. So
Yeah.
I feel like the equitability was a little more these last two. And then if you watch older seasons, women were winning HOHs like no problem.
Yeah,
And
it's like they got
so
into the middle and something happened. And I don't know what, but something happened. 'Cause, yeah, Rachel and Janelle, just Danielle Donato even was
yeah,
killing it in her day. Yeah, we had some
yeah.
women that did kill it. You're right.
Yeah. So to see this week being able to just like focus on the social piece was great, but I wish they had done something for like giving those people an advantage or something going into the next week would have been great. If
Yeah.
if week 8 had been like a vote, even Taryn pointed out, which I had also said thought in my head, a food comp. Instead, they
Something.
just gave them food baskets like Easter baskets with food in it.
Oh man,
Thank
yeah.
God.
It was
So
such a bummer to watch and to
yeah,
live true, but I was very grateful that Suri had that time. Had she not had this week, it would have been
Oh,
she would have gone.
absolutely.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
I'm, if
Absolutely.
nothing else, we had to suffer through a week of absolutely no real gameplay needed to being
Mhm.
had. At least Suri was able to gain some footing back, and I am grateful for that. I'm grateful for people to see her work some more magic and just earn some more flowers.
Yeah. And even like socially, I felt like Cam and Jared, who were zombies, should not have been able to talk or
Nothing,
mingle. Should have not been
nothing.
able to do nothing.
So annoying. Yeah,
It was so annoying.
I hated how this week was structured. I would have much rather them, like, you know how Jared was in the Netherlands and he would talk to, it needed to be something like that where you can't have private conversations, where you can't canoodle and plan for what you're, I didn't like any of that. They should be out of bounds. They just had a
Yeah.
free week to, like, Jared was kind of in shambles this week, but I
Yeah,
wish.
he cried. It was crazy. And so that was week 8. It wasn't like and even the comp that they did for them, the graveyard comp, it was literally that ball comp that Xavier and who did, I forget who did it with him, but
Oh no, because that was too long. I don't remember.
yeah, it
Put it
was
in your mind and mine.
and he basically, you're just putting it on a like a shovel, and it was just dumb. So it was that went in two pieces, and then he had to drop a ball into the head. Anyway, Cam comes back. It was just dumb. It was so
And
dumb.
then Cam comes back in what?
Becomes
Cam.
HOH.
So I'm like, when I saw that, I'm just like, I was just, come on, man. Every week, if he's not winning the veto, he's
Hmm.
winning HOH,
Yeah.
and then not even just.
So the producers keeping him. And listen, I'm not saying they should have kept Jared in. I would have wanted both of them gone.
Absolutely.
That would have been my preference. Both of them
Yes,
to stay gone.
one
But if I
thousand.
had to choose one over the other, it would have been Jared. But yeah, so he comes in, he has to build a rocket ship puzzle thing. It was dumb. I thought it was dumb. And so again, Cam with his bad nominations, he picks Felicia
And
and
Mimi,
Mimi. And the
who,
minute he said he was targeting Felicia but putting her up with Mimi, I said Mimi's gonna go at the end of the week.
I didn't say that. I really thought Felicia would go. I really
Yeah,
did at the
I
end of the
knew
week.
it. I
And
knew it.
I, with how Cam handled his, we're going to get into this whole week, but with how Cam handled his previous HOH with the
Hmm.
secrecy, the nominations, and then you know, how he was like wanting to people to be uncomfortable, wanting to surprise people with the very annoying to my soul, but whatever. I just think that's bad game. Like people, these you're trying to go to jury, you're trying to stay in the house. Like, why would you do? Why were you playing with people? But anyways, I was thinking, oh, surely he really, out of all the competition beasts and the people that could target him, surely he doesn't think Felicia leaving is good for him. Like, there has to be some backdoor plan. And we do hear later of him that would have happened if other people hadn't pushed back. And I think
Yeah.
it would have been a good move for him to get one of these other competitors out, but didn't get to
What?
be.
Yeah. When I heard the vote could flip onto Corey, I was so okay. Let's go through. So then he had to do a veto, and it was a scary comp veto, very similar to last season, where they're basically running around the house somehow, like a mazy type of horror comp. They could have kept that, but it was supposed to be scary verse week.
Yeah.
And so he does everything he can to win the veto because he wants to control the week. And instead of his dumbass allowing, because Mimi came second, and I
Second.
knew, no, by how many seconds? It was like 2 seconds.
Yes, it was so small. And that's why I say he sucks. Because
Yeah,
why would you want to add another win to your resume for people to even look harder at you? One.
right,
Two, he obviously already has in his mind that he wants to backdoor Corey.
right.
So if he had stepped back, let other people win, it would have been Mimi. And then Mimi would have taken herself down, and then you would have had to put somebody up, and you could have put Corey up, and then you could
And
have
hands are
getting
clean. Your
ammunition.
hands are
Hands are
clean.
clean. You're not betraying nobody. Jag and Matt can't freak out and be mad about nothing. They can't try to talk you out of back because you could have just slapped Corey up there and been,
Mhm.
I gotta put somebody up, and it's going to be Corey. They
Yeah.
couldn't have done anything about it, and
Because
then
at
he could
that point,
have.
Felicia's feeling that they have a foursome and all this stuff, and be like, I don't know, they're talking about that they have something going on, and I'm not part of that. Slap them both up there. Slap them both up there.
Right. He would have had such an easy out, and he would at least have had somebody up there by force. Like you would have had to replace the nomination. So I just don't appreciate
He's
his strategy. Like
not a good player.
he's not. He's not. He's not. He might be able to call, oh, they're gonna do this in certain scenarios, like with Jared. That's because he knew, but he's not a good player, and it frustrates me to no end when around social media in my groups, people they lick the man's booty cheeks, Tamika. They think he's Dr. Will. They
No.
do. And I'm just like, y'all. And they get
I
mad
mean,
for
I
being
didn't watch Dr. Will play. I still haven't gotten to that season, but no.
well, they think he's the epitome. They think he's the best player this season. I was like, but is he really? Because he wouldn't have been evicted, honey. I mean, good people get evicted, but like he's in a crappy position. If he doesn't win, he likely goes. So come on.
Yeah, no. So at this point, I was just like, okay, so she gunned for the veto like she should have.
Right.
And said they're going to see her as a comp threat. I mean, they were always going to vote her out at this point, and so that is why I knew if she did not win the veto, she was going to go home. Because Cam kept saying that he was, even with Corey, he was going to leave her up on the block, and I was like, I can't.
Right.
So we know that Jag fought very hard to get Mimi out, keep Corey. Good play on Jag because she literally was coming for him.
She was.
We
Get them.
Yeah. Not good play on Corey because why?
And that was another reason for their motivation.
Yeah.
They're like, why does Corey want Mimi out? That's really dumb of him. Let's get Mimi out. You know, it was like it was not against Mimi per se. It was because they wanted to cripple other players. I do, like we discussed, wish Mimi would have placated to some people. I just think she was so against it and she hated all of that. She's like, I'm not doing it. You know, and I understand, but I still wish she had. So, you know, this was not how I wish the week had gone. Out of the two nominees, I would have much, much, much rather have seen Felicia go, just because nothing against her. She's going to keep the drama, but I wanted to see Mimi turn it up so badly because I think like I was tired of the comments people were making about how she chose to play her game. Was she passive? Yes. But in her mind, listening to her rationale, while it didn't work out, I understand. I still wish she would have placated to people more. And Taryn said in one of his interviews, I don't know if you got to watch that update, that he thinks he would love to see Mimi come back. He's not a player that he thinks is incapable. He just believed that she actively chose to be inactive to stay out of the mess because she saw all the active people in a mess. Literally.
And that's what she's come out since and said in all her interviews. She literally did this on purpose. And I've not heard her say, because people were like, oh, don't you feel like, and she's like, I chose to play that way. Like,
Yeah, I don't think it was a
did I
mistake.
could I have worked better with Corey? Yeah, but at the end of the day, didn't trust him, didn't trust
Right.
America, and I was never going to work with them. And even when she's like, I think I even gave them assurances that I was working with them, and they still outed them to other people. So what, like, and I was like, thank you. I am so glad that she is standing her guns, because people want her to feel like she did something wrong by not working with Corey in America, but they never were going to truly work with her. The
Right.
moment that Corey moved, Corey wanted to work. Like, people keep saying, he wanted to work with her. He wanted to work with her. She's the only person he wanted to work with. It was
Like,
sad to watch him go after her. I was like, no. Corey wanted to work with Mimi week 2, 1 and 2. By week 3, he was in close to a full-on showmance with America, who expressed that Mimi made her uncomfortable. She did not want to work with her. How are you going to work with somebody as closely as he would have needed, because he was saying that he needed a Helena? We all know that America was never going to be his Helena, because again, she spilled too much. And so even in this case, if even if he wanted her to be his, the Danielle to his Jason, again, you would have had to have a showmance where you're not telling her this. And he told America everything, and America twisted anything that he would tell her about Mimi against Mimi, so that she was not ever going to be as close to him as he would have needed Mimi to be if she was going to be his second. And so, and he kept blowing it up. So I'm glad she understands that, she sees the right reads on it, because people want her to like bow down to Corey. He wanted to work with you. Sure. A lot of people wanted to work with her. Did they?
yeah, I think that like Corey, it's hard to know true intentions, but for the reasons why Mimi didn't feel comfortable, completely understand. And I'm outside the house, like, and she has a
Mhm.
limited view, completely understand. Yet still, even though I understand, I still wish she had pretended. But
Right.
I just think in her mind, she didn't want to do that because she
No.
thought that led to trouble, whether it
Trouble.
would or wouldn't, I don't know. And I think that this week, had she pretended or just appeased Corey, which is annoying to my soul, but if she had, we could have possibly seen a different, but we'll never really truly ever know that. But I understand her uncomfortableness. I still wish she'd have pretended though.
Mhm.
And I think that she just didn't want to do that. Like, it's like a wrestle in my head. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, she actively chose, no, I'm not about to lie and do this and make up all these things I'm not about to keep. Like, I get that too. But sometimes you
Yeah.
gotta. It's just such
Yeah.
a, you gotta know when to and when not to, because
That's
sometimes
true.
people do
And
that
you have
too
to know
much. Yes.
like
But
how to lie.
yes. And I think she never really had to lie that much, but you have to know like when to, and then don't do that too much, because if you do that too much, you end up like 3 and Izzy,
Yeah.
you
If
know,
you
all the
watch
hot
Izzy,
water.
though, she never really lied. Even
She
in
didn't.
conversations with Felicia or
She did not.
Serene,
She did
she
not need
did
to
she
lie.
did it.
Right.
People would be come into her with bullshit, and she'd be like, mm-hmm.
Right. We never got nothing back. And I was just like, Mimi, like,
Maybe try. She couldn't. Even with the people she was working with, she was alive with. It was like you knew she was like, even like when in one of her interviews, they asked her what she thinks about Mama Fee, and say a word for Felicia, and she says Mama Fee.
right.
But in another interview, she does say, she's like, oh, it's the same interview I was telling you about, where they asked her who was
Oh,
the
wait, I gotta
leakiest,
find that
the
one.
yeah, the leakiest ones.
Mm-hmm.
She said America, and she's like, and I'm sorry, but my girl, Mama Fee, she's like, she spilled everything. She told
She
everything.
did.
She
Mama
did.
Fee did.
It's hard
For
for me
sure.
to watch. I think one time you were saying it was hard for you to. Oh, with Kirsten. It was hard for you to watch her because of the way that she was playing the game. For
Mm-hmm.
me, watching Felicia the way that she is hard for me to watch, because to me she keeps nothing. Like, it's like her
Nothing.
and Mimi are the
Polar opposite.
direct
Honestly,
opposites.
honestly, Mimi And I don't think Matt's so horrible. He goes and tells his allies things. But like
Mhm,
Sari and Mimi are literally the only people that would hold information and not tell everybody. That's like when
mhm,
Sari was talking to Felicia recently and trying to make up. She's like, I ain't out here saying nothing. But the
mhm,
things that we are saying, I'm hearing come back to me. So I'm no. And she really had a. Did you see that? I don't know if you saw that. They had like a come to Jesus moment. Like I will rock with you, but you can't
mhm,
be none of this poking me in the back around the
mhm,
house, trashing her.
mhm,
That's
mhm.
not Mimi. That's why I wish Mimi would have stayed because Mimi has a higher win equity, in my opinion, than
Mhm.
because of
She
some.
could have she could have taken that Jared place of the knight to
Yes,
with Matt being the other knight for Sari
yes.
in what she needed.
And what Mimi, the information Mimi brought to Sari, they would,
Mhm,
I just picture they could talk about it together. They could talk through
mhm,
it together and figure
mhm,
out what's happening. That
mhm,
Mimi was better in that way for Sari
mhm,
than Felicia is ever going to be,
mhm.
like ever. And I don't trust still that Felicia is really on her side. She's just been so anti Sari lately that
Mhm.
I don't know if she ever really is going to get off the anti-Sari
Yeah.
train, honestly. And I think Mimi would.
Yeah, so this is my thing too about Mimi. Like people keep saying that she didn't play the game, she was furniture. No, she was loyal and she kept things close to her chest. Maybe a little too close.
Yeah.
But there is, and even like you said, Taryn said that I did watch that piece. I don't think I watched
That update.
Beyond that full update. That was the HOH, I think. Was it?
I don't
Yeah,
know. It's in our messages though, so we can find
yeah,
it.
yeah. But he said like because she was actively playing it and it was like a choice for her, she could come back and play this game in a different way that would probably have better success. Like think about it, kind of like a Cody to a Derek.
Right.
Cody played a game of loyalty.
Mm-hmm. He was very,
Thankfully,
yeah.
had someone to be loyal to, but he
Mm-hmm.
was too loyal to that person won.
Mm-hmm.
So then he came back, played the game again,
Mm-hmm.
different version, kept
Mm-hmm.
some of him, put a
Mm-hmm.
different output to it, got a different result. And I
Yeah.
definitely can see that being Mimi.
Me
Think
too.
about it. If Mimi had been on season 23, cookout regardless,
Oh,
if
listen,
she had been a Hannah, or like instead
an
of
author.
Hannah, it would, or instead of Oz, she would have been so much more appreciated. Even on this season, if there was no Izzy, there was no Jared, and Sari had to find somebody early on to work with
Oh,
her.
definitely, definitely. Because I think that Mimi, like all of the things that Sari wants in a ride or die, Mimi has. She like Izzy was a good partner, but I feel like Mimi had, from listening to her, especially all her trust in the brown sugar babe. She was
Yes.
loyal to the soil, and maybe like you said, too loyal. But if she had been in 23, it would be over. Because I also noticed that she just naturally was more herself with that
Hmm.
group of people. Just
Right.
you could tell, like the energy she gave other people and
Hmm.
how she would interact with them was
Hmm.
different. But you
Yeah.
know that how that is. If I met
Yeah.
you in a game and we're surrounded, we're just gonna there's just gonna be things that we connect on that nobody else is gonna understand. We know how that goes. But yes, I would love to see Mimi come back. To me, her only downfall is she stuck to what she was loyal
Hmm.
to. She
Hmm.
didn't want to make other messes like everybody else
Hmm.
was making. This was just a particularly messy tell. I don't remember a season where everybody told everything like this.
Everything.
Everything. I do not remember a season where this much crap got out. But if it had been a different season, not these crazy chaotic players, and she was able
Hmm.
to also make friendship outside of her core, she would have been fine. That's how I feel. If
Hmm.
she would have just
I
had friendship
agree.
at her core,
I feel
oh,
that. I feel that way as well. I don't feel like she was furniture because I don't
She wasn't.
I don't sit there and watch furniture. The only person I think was close to furniture is probably Bowie Jane. And even then, like when she found out that the bye bye bitches were a real thing, she was pissed off and started semi playing the game because she went and started shit talking them to get people closer to her. I mean, it worked. She's still there. She's HOH. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, sorry, spoiler alert. But it just whatever. I watching me play, to me I was like, oh my god, that's how I would play because ex- except for I agree with you, I probably would fake it a little bit.
Gotta.
I'm not great at faking it. You, like, anybody who knows me, they're like, just look at Tamika's face, they know.
Yeah, you would be in there like 3 because we've seen her, especially a lot recently. Like, oh hell, I gotta go talk to these people.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
it's like you don't want to, but you in a game like it just has to be so
yeah, yeah, yeah,
exhausting.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It has to be so exhausting, and I'm real pissed that like Mimi had to campaign to people that were evicted weeks ago. Like,
Again,
you shouldn't
say
even have to
that again.
talk to Jag. Like she does not even have to talk to this man. But
Yeah,
here we are. Like that would
yeah.
annoy my soul. Like
That would have annoyed me too.
how about we get to the people that we already evicted? How about
like,
we do that?
bruh, you were evicted already unanimously. You too. You too, HOH.
Yeah, she
But
needs
yeah,
another chance.
she threatened us with a good time because she said she was gonna show her ass on her HOH.
Oh, I told you I never wanted to see somebody's more. Come on, Mimi. I was so ready. This week would have been so fire. If could you imagine Matt and Jag, which I do not want, like I like Matt, so I'm fine with him staying. But Jag, I'm ready for Jag to go. He's so cocky this week, and it's so fun. All right, I'm sorry. Where are we in this
Yeah.
discussion?
Veto happens. He wanted to target Corey. Jag and Matt talked him out of it, so he locked the nominations. And again, bad read on him. He swore Felicia was gonna go home, but he has no vote this week, and
No,
so they talked everybody out of voting for his actual target. So now he has a person in jury who hates him and will not
right?
vote for him
And
because she doesn't appreciate him being a cop beast.
no, and she flat out said in the kitchen that Cam is a horrible player. He can win comps, but he's missing the social element. Don't nobody talk to Cam. I was screaming when she was given this read because she's right, and I want Felicia. God forbid if Cam gets to the end, but I want Felicia to go in that dang jury and be like, "This ain't about no comps." I want her to do that. She's going to be anti Corey, anti America, anti Cam, and I cannot wait. Cannot wait.
So
Oh,
Mimi gets evicted unanimously. Even Taylor said, "Does nobody care about a sympathy vote?" Obviously,
no.
not on the season. But as we stated, kind of throughout this show, she's giving great interviews. She
Yeah.
has wonderful reads. And so yes, go through my threads, listen to the interviews. I love that woman. I'm so glad that we got introduced to her. I can't. She would love to play Amazing Race, The Challenge. I
Oh,
don't
you
think she
said the
said
challenge?
Survivor. She said the challenge. I don't
Really?
think she said Survivor. She said
He
something.
is a tiny little thing.
Yeah, but I
He
can see
is
her do the
so.
challenge. I can see her do the challenge. You say though.
Oh,
Listen, I because people keep saying, "Oh, she did nothing in the game," and she was. This woman came third in the pressure cooker.
right. She almost beat Cam in the thing.
She almost
They're
beat
not paying
Cam.
attention to her. That's all.
Yeah,
They're just
yeah. Like, stop sleeping. Because I think I put a comment on one of the interviews that she did, and I was like, I think it was Sharon's, from Exclusive Podcast, and they're like, oh, go on a challenge to do what? I'm like, the woman has done. She got to the end of the knockout comp, and she just
she's
got
not
beaten
doing
by
it. Like
one person.
yeah, she was always performing in the top half of the comps.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
said, people aren't paying attention. She was in top
No.
top of the knockout. What was that
Yeah,
other one? She almost got that veto.
yeah,
Never like at the back of the pack, guys. Like
no.
these people are not paying attention. And for some of the time on the feeds, Mimi, we didn't see a lot of Mimi on the feeds. Where's why don't they ever put cams on Mimi? So yeah, those people just don't know. My only response is, oh, she's so tiny. And some of those women, like if I think of Mimi and then I think of Michaela, I'm like, damn, you know what I mean? It's she's just
Yeah,
petite, short.
but think of her in comparison to an Alyssa. Alyssa made it far season 1. I think she's about the same size.
Uh-uh. I think Alyssa would be taller and more solid. Mimi looks like a like she looks like she's 5 foot wearing a 00 to me. Like when I look at her, she looks
Mm.
5 feet 00, just like 110 pounds type tiny. When I look at like Tori is, I want to say 5'8" and like
But let's not
150.
talk Tori because I don't feel like Vet should be on USA. But we're like,
Well, I agree, but I'm just comparing like body types. I just think Mimi's so tiny, and I don't know. But tiny, you could be tiny and mighty.
yeah, I mean, like it's possible. So, and a lot of it they have to work in pairs anyway. So, or groups of alliance members. We don't know how. Listen, I think the challenge would be a good place for her to start. But I am listen. People are upset. I keep saying this, but I am happy for Mimi that if she was gonna lose, she lost at this point because people were like, "Oh, imagine like giving up tickets to Beyonce and not making jury." Yeah, but she left her husband after being a newlywed for a month to come on the show, and if she wasn't gonna win $750,000, I mean, because she still has a chance to win AFP if that was the thing. She don't have to do that in the house. So
Right.
she I'm glad she left at this point so she could
Not
spend the
me. I
rest
wish
of
you'd
the
have
time.
got a check. At least
No,
if you'd gotten jury. I
no.
mean, jury is only what, 5 weeks? She could got a couple $1,000. And out of the people who are still in jury, I'd rather see Mimi get the money than Cam. I'd rather see Mimi get $5, $6, $7,000 over America. Do you know what I mean? Like I wish she would have. I don't know. I wonder how she feels about that. But I would have rather her stayed and got a little something because everybody that left pre-jury got little to nothing.
Yeah.
Get a check. I don't know how she feels. I'd be curious to know that, but I would like to see her get a little.
I don't know. I'm maybe that's a question you can ask her on Monday. How does she feel about not making jury? It sounds to me like she's happy to go home to her husband.
No,
She said she didn't come there to win AFP. She came there to win $750,000.
Wasn't there to make friends? Like, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And so to go and have to sit in jury with people that she didn't like or like for another month, like I personally, she probably could make that back by going back to work. To like what she would have made in jury is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
and then I liked it. I thought this comp was incredibly hard. What did you think of it? Like I would fail miserably when they were showing all the pictures and all the different likes and dislikes and the week was. I know my memory and I know myself. If I don't get a thought out before you say a sentence, I'm gonna forget my thought. Like that's how bad my short-term memory is. Horrible. Ask me something about 3 seasons ago on Big Brother, and I'll probably remember the scenario. I can spell it all out. But I would not be good at that kind of competition. How do you think you would fare?
I thought it was incredibly hard when they did it in 23. Because it was very similar.
Yeah.
And I still think it's very hard.
It's
I have a better short-term memory and I have a bit of a photographic memory.
Okay.
That's if I'm super paying attention. And so I don't know if my anxiety would take over to throw me off. That's the only thing. But like I have a good memory in general.
Girl, my memory is trash.
Like my friend is always like, I don't know how you do like, the stuff I share, the pictures because like even like somebody was going through and they're like, oh, this girl, and I said, I don't follow her. I said that must be someone that their suggested follower. He scrolled up and he's like, "Oh, yeah, you're right. You're not following." My friend is like on the other side. She's like, "How did you know?" And I was like, "Because I
Yeah.
don't know. I remember I'm following thousands of people, but I know
Right.
who like I share and that kind of stuff." So yeah, I probably like photographically probably remember that, but like to remember numbers like at the bottom, the likes or whatever. I might have remembered like the candles, like how many candles were not there and
No,
that kind
because
of
I
stuff.
wouldn't have because there's too many things to look at, and there were a lot of
Yeah.
like, what the heck are you going to ask me? It's not like we could pick the questions and be like, or have example questions. Like, do I count the candles? I'm never going to remember the candles. How many did? It was just, and I liked that it was true, false, but to me, it was a lot of. I wonder how many people were confident in their answers because we saw a lot of, uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was a lot. It
what
was a lot of like, oh no, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know.
right. People think that would be me. I would not be good at those comps whatsoever. Like just
Yeah,
I just know myself. It would be a
yeah.
wrap for Janelle. And then we get Bowie Jane as
Scaling upwards.
I could not believe. Like I wanted to oh, please, Felicia, please. You know Corey and America were gonna be on that block so fast. It needed
Mhm.
to be Corey and Jag, in my opinion. America's
True.
gonna be hopeless without Corey. What's she gonna do? Like I would worry about Corey more than America. To me, he's the brains of that operation, unfortunately, because America can't not tell anything.
Yeah, but then Cam is still there, and I don't know. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's all. Like, yeah, all of those things. Like, I don't know. I was just hoping that Felicia would have pulled it out, and I think Bowie tried to throw it. Like, I don't
Yes,
think she wanted to win. She was
she
like 27 minutes. She misunderstood.
started. This is why I didn't want to win this HOH.
Yes, she didn't even want to win it. So I wish it would have been. That would have just been so comical to me. That
Yeah.
Felicia, it would have been like Cam winning if Felicia would have won that, and could they would have had to grovel at her feet, all of them. I would have loved it. I would have loved it.
Yeah.
So that's where
Um.
we are. Oh, we have noms even. So did
Yeah.
noms official?
Yeah. Yeah. The noms are official.
Okay.
So yeah, so spoiler alert. So if you don't want to hear the noms, you want to wait for episodes and HOH. Sorry, we already spoiled the HOH, but you should have saw it on the eviction episode. If not, we spoiled most of that from yesterday. So sorry. But yeah, so at this point, Bowie Jane does win this HOH comp. I will never complain about seeing an HOH comp on Thursday, so it is what it
Love
is.
it. Yeah.
I rather it because then that means that on Sunday when we get the HOH episode, they're not hopefully spending time showing us the stupid comp.
Yeah.
And so we'll get more social play. Not that there's a lot of social players left in this game, but still, I would rather that. So, yeah, so Bowie Jane did sit down last night with her alliance because I said this yesterday. I said, who is she going to target? Who is she going to, like, she has to show her cards now. And she is intent on that. She's intent on not showing her cards. It's not a bad play. I will say
Yeah.
that we hate it. But it's not a bad play because she's
For
not.
Bowie, no.
Yeah, because she's
I
not
hate
really
it.
showing her cards because she's not really targeting the people that need to be targeted because she's working with them. And so at this point, her bye bye bitches is dead and done over with. People haven't talked to her game, and so she is like, I'm going to nominate Felicia and Cerise. She's been saying it since last night. Jag, Matt,
Corey, America.
Corey, and
Also,
America have all tried to get Cam out, but we know her and Cam have a final two. And who else? Blue, Cam, Felicia. Not so much Cerise. Cerise hasn't really said much to her. Have all tried to, but she says she's good with Cerise. But she has to use her because she doesn't have anything
everybody else.
necessarily with her. But they are all trying to get Corey. Or and the thing is, I wonder if they pushed America,
Would she
if
go for it?
would she go for it? But they're pushing Corey. So
Yeah.
you have a Cam push on one side and a Corey push on the other side, and fucking Boja is like, I don't give a fuck what y'all want.
And,
Felicia and Sari are going on.
and listen, listen, I have to eat my words here because as
Mhm.
soon as she won in my group and on
Mhm.
Twitter, I was like, oh, these men about to run her HOH. They about to
Mhm.
they,
They
Bo
are not.
standing her ground, and
She
I'm actually
stood
shocked.
her ground.
Are we
Every
gonna have a
single
Bowie
one of
game
them.
winner? That's my freaking question. Because look, we have Bowie, and we have.
Mhm.
I don't want this. I do not want this. We have Bowie. Who's gonna target Bowie? Nobody. She may be used as a pawn, but I can't. I feel like almost everybody in the house will leave over Bowie. We have Matt and Jag working with Bowie. We have
Mhm.
Corey and America wanting to work with
Mhm.
Bowie. We have Cameron wanting to work with Bowie. So I understand why she chose, why I picked the noms I don't like. I understand why she chose them for her individual game. Why would she not? Everybody else she is okay with. And she
Mhm.
feel like any of those other people would target her. Neither would Corey or neither would Sari and Felicia. But
Mhm.
you got to pick somebody. So yeah,
Mhm.
good for her game. I still freaking hate it though.
Mhm.
I'm
Um,
hoping that as the week progresses, that
mhm.
they are able to influence her to backdoor somebody,
Right.
please,
Anybody.
anybody. I really don't care who it is. I don't want Blue to go because I feel like she rock with Sari, but like, and I don't want Blue on the block next to Sari because she might open her mouth and tell that secret. But
Yeah.
anybody could go, but I don't want any of either of those two to go. If three loses Felicia, I'm like, just go sit in the corner, honey.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I want her to have somebody that she can work with,
Yeah.
besides just Matt left. I don't
Yeah.
know. I hate it,
So
but like,
I hate it. It sounds like Sari, even though she says she's good with Sari. First she's like, should I tell her she's just a pawn? But I also don't like the fact that she has a lot of connections and people like her. But so sometimes it sounds like her target would be Sari, but also like she doesn't care if it's Felicia. And so I don't know
right,
I don't know who her actual target is, but it ain't the people that people want her to target. She's like, no,
yeah,
you do that. She's like, me putting up Sari is me getting enough blood on my hands, and they've been trying to convince her to put up either Corey in America or Cameron and Blue, and she's like, the only person who I would replace if one of those other two come down is maybe Blue. But we can talk about it with Veto.
oh, he's
So
so annoying. Like while I'm so eating my words about her, and the fact that she was gonna just cave under everybody else's desires, I was
mhm.
so wrong. But I still freaking don't like it. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
like it.
no. And so listen. I can't hate it. It's the right move for her like absolutely the right move for her. She's doing the absolute right move.
But
I
I feel
but
like Marie's gonna go.
I think we wait to see how Vita works.
I
I'm not
know,
sure.
but
Like I don't feel the way I felt last week when Mimi got put up. Like I do
I
not
didn't
feel
either.
that way.
I didn't feel anything last week, but this week
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Marie, are
Yeah,
you
no,
really
no.
gonna? I don't know. I think that
I
people don't.
believe even if the nominations get locked, Sari can get enough votes to stay.
Because I feel
But
like people are like Matt is going to want. I swear Matt wants to take her to the end.
Matt, Blue, all she needs is Matt, Blue, Cam.
Okay, I feel better. I feel better. I feel better. As long
Bowie,
as
Bowie
Jag don't get no
can't
bright
play.
ideas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it would. I mean, it would be Jag, um, Corey in America. So it
Hmm.
would be 3v3. But if she again, if she could talk Felicia into. I mean, Bowie Jane to keep
Same
her.
thing here.
Yeah, but again, it's also like Corey, if you keep Felicia again, you deserve to get taken out by Felicia. So hey,
She's not going to be a champion for him in the jury whatsoever.
no, no.
I'm actually excited. Like I, there was
It was very to me, it was very dumb to keep her because I feel like Cam, Corey, y'all was screwed. She is not going to advocate for either of you,
right.
Felicia, and especially Felicia's first to jury. Yeah.
Yeah, she's not. That's clear that she's not. And I liked when she was saying some things against Cam. I liked
Mhm.
the thought process, because it was like, this ain't about no damn comps. This man can't get nothing done, and people don't talk to him. I forget everything she said, but it was like,
She
yeah,
went off.
she
Even
went
when she
in.
went in on America, on this live eviction, she went
You
in
gonna
on
get
America.
what you
She
done?
made some points.
You gonna get from up from under? I was screaming. I was like, and America did not appreciate that. And I heard
No,
Tori say later, she's very insecure about that. That's why I would be interested to see. Like, I think America's
a final two between them.
no, I think she loses. But
Yeah,
America's problem is, honestly, I just feel like America's problem is she can't not talk. Like,
yeah.
like that is her biggest. And if I get to ask her that, I'm like, America, you told
Everything,
everything, absolutely
everything. Why?
everything. I really, really. And then it was like she would have to grovel to Corey. Well, I'm just like,
And even still, like there's stuff that she has not told him that she spilled, and he's just now realizing today. I think she's the one that told.
she's done it all. No, no, I have no sympathy for Corey whatsoever.
No, no sympathy. Right now, he is
America,
throwing her under the bus,
yes,
and just to try to get because he realizes that now he would go over her, because everybody's targeting him. I think he was crying about being so stressed because of how he's playing the game. But I'm like, you're actively choosing to play the game the way you're playing the game. You flipping the vote and working hard as hell to flip the vote on Mimi last week, just to say you did it, because it didn't benefit you, because you were trying to see if you could get Sari and Blue left out of the vote just to say you did it. That's on
yeah,
you. That was not anything that anybody's doing to you, so I can't feel sorry for you. So just like you said, Janelle, I do not feel sorry for Corey. He is choosing to play this like harder the version of whatever is in his mind. And Mimi did mention in one of her interviews another reason she couldn't fully talk strategy with him is because he would run through every freaking scenario and want to talk through every scenario and cover
who
his
wants to
ass
do
on
that?
every
Right.
scenario.
I'm not doing all that. And then that's why, sorry, what
Mhm.
else did she say? And she knew, like, all the strategy that she would talk
Mhm.
to everybody. Why is she gonna
Yep.
tell him her secrets? And then, oh, he's just he didn't trust Blue, for example, but then he gave Blue his entire like game, all this stuff. Sometimes I'm impressed with Corey. Sometimes I'm like, what are you doing, Corey? What are you thinking? Like I'm like that with Corey. Sometimes I'm like, oh, that was good. Oh, that was what are you doing? Oh, that was good. What are you doing? Like he's too back and forth. He's
Yeah.
America was the downfall to his game, in my opinion. While he was enjoying her,
Yeah.
whatever, his associate to me, he just started playing not as well when that
Yeah.
came to be, which
I,
often happens with these showmances.
Yeah, I just feel like so I've watched only a few seasons where in even in showmance that I've watched
Mm-hmm.
playing like the way he's playing, we watched it with Kyle and Alyssa, is a detriment. It will always screw you.
Yeah, and say that one more time.
Like playing the way he's playing with America is a detriment. I understand people keep saying, "Oh, no, it's a benefit because you always have two people." Yes, but
They're not playing well together.
they're not playing well together.
They
When
don't play
you
that
can't strategize with your showmance, it,
without worrying that she's gonna blab it. Like you need to watch Big Brother Canada 5. That is
mhm,
iconic Ika. And she played with a guy named Demetrius, who
Dimitri,
are now together, right? And they were a freaking duo. The only problem with Ika, you're gonna love her. She's so
mhm,
spicy. Maybe sometimes like, oh damn, Ika, that was
mhm.
that was
But
hard.
even BB Can 11, that's what we just watched.
Yes, with Kuzi, yes.
Yes. Okay. Even that. Think about Ty and Claudia.
Yeah.
They fought a lot,
Mm-hmm.
but they also strategized well together.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of it, she just made some unforced errors that screwed her own game.
Mm-hmm.
That if she had made a couple, just
Different. Yeah, letting go of the
tweaks, just
girly girls and all
yeah,
that.
couple tweaks in that, I feel like it's the same thing that America would do. Like she's sitting there allowing him to make sure Blue, who she has a final two with, gets screwed out. But when you and Blue can go to the end, and you probably would beat her.
Yeah, I think people would. Yeah, I don't. Oh, that's an interesting Blue versus America. I think it's gonna be. I don't know how each of them would convey their game.
Their campaign,
Blue
yeah,
can't be like this kitty kitty purr.
right,
America, I don't know what she would possibly say. I don't even know. But
right.
Ika and Demetrius were freaking. They were awesome. But the problem was Ika couldn't win nothing.
So,
Oh, girl, it
so
was
America,
like, but Demetrius won. It was like Demetrius would win, Ika would drop the ball, not win. Demetrius would win, Ika wouldn't win. Every time we needed Ika to
I
win,
could win. Yeah,
it was so. But it was such a fun season. It was such a fun season.
yeah. So at this point, that's where we are with American Corey. He's won one HOH. She has not won anything. She has a big mouth.
I don't think she
Like
can.
she got into a huge fight with Felicia, and then she side eyeing Corey because he just like, oh, and what?
But listen, I didn't like. Okay, but America, you want to stand on your own 2 feet. You want to show that
Yeah,
you're your own player, but yet
yeah,
you want Corey to come rescue you right here.
yeah. No,
No, I thought he did
absolutely
okay
ridiculous.
by walking out. Like, let her
Yes,
handle it.
yeah,
How is it going to look? You're worried about, like Felicia just said,
yeah,
I'll come up under Corey. Do you want to look like you're like that? Would have just made you look more up under Corey.
exactly.
Girl,
Yeah.
and I thought she handled the fight well. She didn't
Um.
like pop off or scream or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, Felicia ate her up, but
Yeah.
I respect that she didn't get ugly. You know what I
Get
mean? She
nasty.
didn't get nasty or
Um.
dirty.
But you can't start a fire and then ask your boyfriend to put it out when people are saying he always puts out your fires. Like, no, that's not. It's just not going to fly if you want to be seen as somebody who is standing alone in this game. And that's because she's literally in the diary room talking about, well, I lied. Sure, like I'm not going to tell the truth. So then why even start the fire? Like, because she started it.
Yeah, she's the one who's decided to speak up. Like,
Yeah.
because she didn't have to do that, but I
No,
think she
she
just
could have went into a room with somebody and been like, I don't know what she's talking about. We didn't do none of that stuff.
yes, 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 absolutely. I think, and that's maybe easier to say from the outside,
Hmm.
to
True.
stay calm and not when you're feeling attacked. But I'm interested to see how America would differentiate her game from Corey's
Right.
and how that is going to be perceived later. If she is even able to get there, which I don't know, but
All right. Yeah. I'm not. I told you yesterday. I'm not seeing the path. For either one of them. To be fair. And so yes. So that is where we are. Felicia and Sari are on the block, which means we get to see Sari play her first veto after 60 something
30
days.
days.
And so yeah, it's really, I'm going to wait to see. Listen, maybe Lucky first veto is lucky and she'll win it.
That would be
And
freaking hilarious if Sari was a veto and takes her stuff. I would lose it. I
yeah,
would see her planning a good veto comp for her.
yeah. And so let's see how the video goes. And otherwise, that is what it's looking like for this week. It might be a potential black door with Blue. I'm not sure. She didn't seem convinced about this black door, so we'll see how that ends up working out. But
Yeah, she really didn't. Like
yeah,
I want to say give Bowie kudos because I really had zero faith.
yeah.
She's standing her ground way more than I thought. I was like, yo, like Bowie, I don't want like this season. How would you feel about a Bowie win?
Um, I did not. So this is the the thought has been. hatred since like in the beginning. But if she played this HOH right, I might be okay. I
Maybe
again,
1 week. 1 week
yeah,
is gonna
but
be here.
if she strategically and socially does this right and she's not a target, I can't even hate on it.
You can't. No, you really
I
can't.
can't.
That's what I mean. Like, I'm starting to get nervous because
Yeah,
I know a lot of these groups are going to be firing at each other, and Bowie's going to be over there because I don't
there,
like
right,
it.
and that's
So,
what she wants. You could clearly see it in the
right.
conversations
Yeah.
she's having. And so
Yeah.
I don't know because I keep saying to people, I'm like, I hope she gets targeted because next week she can't reach HOH, and I'm like, fuck, I don't
Nobody,
keep on
but for
that.
real, no, Tamika, nobody's. If there's a Cameron, a Corey, a Matt, a Jag, you
Yeah,
are a freaking idiot to target a Bowie Jane.
yeah, yeah.
But Bowie has
Maybe
done
Felicia
well.
or Sari would target her.
I don't. They would. I think that would also be goofy. I think they
But
need to get
I
Jag.
don't think it would be goofy because it's clear she has a good working relationship with too many people in the house. If you take her out, that takes down one of their numbers that's in between them. And so they are going right after each other and not you.
But I think that they shouldn't take Bowie. They should take. She should take like a Jag, who are people that are more um, likely to win and put her up. I don't like. I feel like she could go massage some things with Bowie. Be like, hey Bowie, you know these people about to fire at this people. These people about
Mhm,
to fire at these people. Hopefully, none of these people are firing at us. And I would
mhm.
like to make a commitment to you that if I win, I'm not going to fire. Like something like that. I feel like Sari could do something like that with a Bowie. So I don't think that she should target Bowie. I think she needs to get one of these men, these compies. Bowie is more athletic, but I feel like Sari and them will have a better chance against Bowie than Matt, Jag, and Cameron.
Okay, but
Better
think about it this
chance.
way. If they take out Blue, there's nobody going after Corey in America. So either they have to go directly at Corey and America themselves, and
Who?
then
Who's they? Need to go directly after Corey in America.
so think about it. They're taking out Blue, which means that Felicia and Siri are staying.
Right.
So if they take out Blue, right?
Mm-hmm.
The house takes out Blue. That means there's nobody going after Corey in America, which means that you either have to break up Jag and Matt and Corey in America, or go after the person in the middle who would stop the war. Phyllis, and so like, because then you're stuck between. Dang, then they would be four pairs: Bowie Jane, Cam, Matt, Jag, Corey America, Felicia Sari.
Mm-hmm. Start. You went out. So the last thing I heard was, I'm sorry. You said if they take out Bowie, they
Blue,
have
blue,
Blue.
blue.
Okay.
If they take out Blue, you're
Mm-hmm.
left with what, four pairs?
Yeah. Matt,
So
Cam, Bowie,
yeah,
uh, Corey in
but
America,
if you
Sari and
take
Felicia.
out, if you take, because Blue is now gone and not targeting Corey in America. Corey in
Mm-hmm.
America and Jag are still playing with each other. If you
Mm-hmm.
take out Bowie Jane, maybe you could get Cameron on your side to go against the other ones. Or they will target each other because now there's nobody going after Corey in America because now you guys are in the middle of them.
Well, I think that Jag and Matt would, don't you think? Because they were
That's
just.
what I'm saying. So I think it might be a good play for Felicia
Uh,
and Sari to go after Bowie Jane because that takes out that middle, brings Cam closer to them because we know that Cam wants to work with Sari, right?
mhm.
And then that leaves Corey in America and Matt and Jag going after each other.
But you don't think that Corey,
Or they're going after Cam. Like either they're going after each other or they're going after Cam because why would they go after you?
meaning Sari and Felicia?
Yes.
I don't know. I think that these like Jag Matt, which is getting
Mhm.
too late to be freaking playing like this. Still, I'm still scared to show cards. But
Yeah.
I think Jag and Matt may be like,
They would
let's
take
do
out
it.
either go after Corey in America or take out Cam.
I think they wouldn't though. That's my thing. I think that they might. put Felicia and Sari up there because they're too chicken. Like they don't want to do it. They're trying to get other people. They're trying to get Bowie to do it right now, and they can't do it.
That's
But they're
why I'm saying
trying.
you take out Bowie. Can't
Okay, I
do it.
don't know. I see your point, but I don't know if
She
that
can't be
means.
HOH next week. They would have to protect her. And that would so then even if they protect her, that means that one of their other people they're working with goes up and has to go out.
I guess we'll see through it. I
Yeah.
see your point. I don't know. It's hard to determine like what is best. I would hope that they would fire at each other and maybe taking out Bowie would ensure that, but I would just not want them to fire at me. Or if one of them fools, I don't want to be used as a pawn. I don't want one of them fools to get the veto. I'm like, okay, let's just get three. I don't know. And all that could happen anyway. So I don't know. We've been 2 hours
This is the thing at this point. But so that is where we are. We're gonna see how the week plays out. Um I mean, I'm not saying I'm excited for this week. I'm gonna be honest, but we're gonna watch. We're gonna watch.
now.
So where can people find you, Janelle?
Same as always. I'm Janelle Michaud on everything, covering this with you, doing Exit Press over at Silent Podcasts on Mondays. I'll be talking to Mimi this upcoming Monday. And also you and I are about to start talking some traders soon. So
Oh, yes, I am so excited. So, yeah, we were supposed to talk Traders Canada the first episode this week, but I went to the Bryson Wynn
right.
and interview uh uh
Party.
pre-party, and then I just totally lost track of time, but we are going to be talking Traders Canada on Tuesdays going forward. Very excited. So we will do a catch up episode, probably episodes 1 and 2
On
this
Tuesday.
coming Tuesday.
Yeah.
And that will be our Traders Canada schedule going forward. So I'm excited for that. This first episode, if you have not watched it, watch a recap if you're not going to have time to watch it. But go find it and watch it. I'm so excited to cover this season of Traders Canada. I do like the Traders format. I personally, again, it's that like social piece that but like
Mm,
for me, the Mole used to be my the Mole and Amazing Race used to be my favorite competitive television shows. I
yeah.
used to watch Survivor like really heavy in the early days, and the challenge in the when it was real world was challenge again. All those social pieces on top of gameplay, I just love that stuff.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to do Traders Canada this week, this season, and then I think. I'm still figuring out when we're gonna do Bachelor Nation recaps with Chantel and Miss T Joy. We gotta try to get those 2 episodes in a week now. And then next month is Love Island Games, and the cast official cast list is coming out. So I got all the PR from Peacock TV. I'm so excited. I will be doing a cast assessment, guys, and so make sure you are following me everywhere. Follow me Entertainment Color on Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. And you will find out when I get this cast assessment out. I got to sort through all these photos, all these bios, all these videos, but I'm excited for Love Island Games. I'm excited to find out what the format is. I like a little switch up. And yeah, so we're going to see how they're going to do this Love Island Games, but we got a lot of faves coming on this
Ugh.
upcoming season. So hopefully somebody will come and podcast that with me, but otherwise I'll be doing it myself. All
Love
right,
Island. Yeah.
guys. So thank you for joining us. We will be back for Big Brother probably sometime next week, but now that we are all caught up, it'll be so much easier. Thank God.
It won't be 2 hours, I promise.
It won't be 2 hours. So thank you guys for joining us for this 2 hour catch up of Big Brother. And follow us both on Twitter. We're always chit chatting live feeds and episodes and whatever comes through our head about Big Brother. So thank you guys for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Hi, guys.
my God. Let's see. It won't end.
Oh.
Oh, ends